honored if you would join us.
He will be honored, and I'm honored to have you here on a Tuesday night on a Between Collectors show, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, New Jersey. How you doing, guys? Anthony, what's up? How you doing?
What is up, my man? It's good, dude. I've been really busy the past 2 weeks, so it's good to, be here and talk some stuff, man. As always.
Do you realize you are becoming slowly but surely the guru of Star Trek?
Oh, well, yeah, it's inevitable. I mean, I've always been, but now that we have figures coming, it's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
who knows what it's gonna look like in 2 years behind me? I don't know,
man.
I don't know.
I can see you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, how you doing?"
Oh, always, man, always.
So, oh man,
yeah, no, man, die hard my whole life, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's fun. It's fun as long as you enjoy what you're doing.
You can like both, There's always been this like we're kids. It's like, oh, Star Trek or Star Wars. It's like, nah.
I know, yeah. It is.
Why not both, right? As they,
if you love both, go for it, man. There's no wrong answer in collecting. I think
that is true. That is true, man.
And of course, we have my friend Mr. Costa from the Pop Culture Living Room in his living room tonight. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
Running?
Doing well. Yeah, you're running.
Good, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me back again. It's been a while since you had a stream and we talked. So yeah, it's good. It feels good to be back.
Yes, I think you were out, right, on vacation or somewhere.
Oh yeah, yep. We went to the Pocono Mountains and did some whitewater rafting, which is not a normal thing for me. So not an outdoorsy person, but we did it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, man, those module cases, those cases that you're making, those things look sick, man.
Yeah, the video is a monster, and I'm trying to break it down into sections, and each section is its own massive video. So it's over 30 minutes right now, but it's like everybody wanted everything all at once, so I'm trying to give them what they want.
I bet, man. That's gonna be a beast of a video. Can't wait to watch that one. If you guys haven't seen it, dude, he will tell you how to build a custom case from scratch, and of course, more cost effective if you compare to module cases or other, big brand cases. And let me tell you, man, like if you watch the video and you follow the steps, you're good to go. Just like that. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, dude.
Pretty slick, yeah. And of course, first time with the channel, my pleasure to have him here, Connor from the Hotline. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. It's been an exciting last couple weeks for all of us. 89 Batman. That's the one I've been talking about all day. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit, but it's been very exciting. I've been trying to fill in some spaces in my collection, not as much for Star Wars, but for Marvel mainly. So when you said earlier that you're going to be selling some Marvel Hot Toys backstage, I'm sitting here like this in my head, like, okay. But,
dude, if you need anything, I'm selling a lot of Marvel stuff. So if you need a figure, just let me know. We work out the price.
Oh yeah,
all sculptor price, like fairly priced.
Appreciate that. See, I'm doing the opposite. I'm filling in my Marvel collection. I was all Star Wars for years, and then I saw No Way Home came out, and then it's all history. Like I just whatever. I'm jumping into Marvel. And now I got horror, Marvel, you name it. I got everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep some Marvel figures. It's not like I'm just gonna get rid of all of them.
Slimming down, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Beskar Kid says, "Can we get Dante to stop copying me, please?" Yeah, because he has to. Let me tell you, this guy has an amazing Star Wars collection. Beskar Kid. I'm sorry, not Beskar. Oh my goodness, hold on, wrong chat. Beskar Kid, yes, he has a really good Star Wars collection. He put really cool videos. I kind of like the style that he has. So follow him on Instagram and TikTok. It's pretty cool.
Yes, his videos are really cool.
Yeah, very nice. I'm thinking, shit, I should do like that, but no, because it's gonna be too much of a copying stuff. But this good stuff. And okay, so we're gonna have a really good show tonight. And before I continue with you guys on the chat, this is how we start between collectors. All right, so I'm gonna say hi to the people on the chat, and of course we have member of the channel Chris K in the house. Good morning from the UK. What's up? How you doing? I know it's super hot in there, so still cool, my friend. Punisher XS, nice to see you back again. Yes, the collector number one. What's up? Hope everyone is doing great. We have Costa in the house. We have Leighton Richards. How is it going, legends? Thank you for that. AJ in the house. Hello, friends. Hope all is well. DT Arman in the house. DVS. Paul Morales. Well, Besker Kid, because I always copy him. Blackbird Tech. Hello, everyone. Dux Mizzle stopping by to say hello. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much, my friend. He's catching up in life. Fabulous Disaster. Hello, everyone. How you doing? We have Christian Detour Collections. What's up? Riley Reviews in the house. Hey, what's going on, guys? Dope panel you have assembled. Nice to see Hotline join the building. Yes. Actually, Connor, you always come to my shows, send nice messages. So I wanted to reach out to you a while ago, but really, like, I tried to get the panels like ahead of time sometimes. Today, I built it from today, literally. I think I reached out to Costa today. I reached out to Anthony today and to you. It was like last minute, like panel.
Hey, like I said, man, I adapt. If I got a slot open, if I got some time away, I'll hop in. I'm always willing to. So I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for that. Insane One, feed the algorithm, contribute, leave a like, and subscribe. Yes. Carlito in the house. What's up, everyone? Tyria? I'm horrible at names. Good evening. We have Insane One, 89 Batman. Yes, we're gonna talk about that too. DVS, HOTTOYS Hotline. He's here. We have,
I love that.
Look, King Zachary, Murray Hill, still the best. Dude, this guy was trying to get 65 likes to go back, and it took him a while. I was watching that video, I was cracking up. That's not good, man. You need to support, man. Support. But glad to see you, my friend, in the house, and I hope you got the 65 likes. I think you got a lot of likes. I dropped my like. HT Collector in the house. Hey, from Singapore. We have Tully. We have Oliver. Hello, good sirs. We have Oliver again. Wait, no. Borg Cube 1 of 2. 1 of 2. Good evening, and of course, it's Popsick, because he is a big supporter of Like a Vantha videos. So I'm gonna give him that.
Like a Vantha, 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 like a Vantha.
Like a panther. All right, so we're going to start the show because we have a few topics that I want to cover. So the first topic we're going to talk about is the rise of third-party companies. I was thinking about the other day, I don't know who mentioned, I think it was you, Anthony, or someone mentioned in one of the shows that HOTTOYS is no longer in possession of the Jack Nicholson license, and I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm just gonna share what I heard. And right, it's funny because as soon as I heard that, then the third-party companies, what did they do? They start announcing stuff, right? So I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna start with this one real quick, and I should be prepared, but I never prepared. That's, if you guys know me, that's how I roll. All right, so we have the M-Toys. This is a third-party company doing a Joker, and I'm just gonna make it like this so we can see Connor. And we have 69 people watching. What a beautiful number. Hit the like button, guys.
Oh yeah.
Hit the like button, guys. All right, so we're gonna start with. I'm gonna start with Anthony. I'm gonna start in order here. So Anthony, Hot Toys doesn't have the license anymore of the Joker. That's rumor has it. I'm not sure if it's true. Looks like it is. Then, as soon as I heard that, then this company came out with this Joker, which, by the way, looks really good. Now, with Hot Toys reissuing or 2.0, the 1989 Batman, what are your thoughts about this? Can you see more companies, maybe like I don't know, Social Toys, Toys Era, or any other, doing another Joker so people can have options? Think about how we got the Vulture, right? Like it was like a Vulture madness. Everyone dropping Vultures left and right.
Right.
So, could this be the
Well,
chance that they're looking for, the third party companies?
yeah, it depends. I mean, because this Mars Toys is pretty cool. There's like 4 months ago they put out their first. Well, same guys. You know, Mars Toys did the '89 Joker, but this one's more like he's got the paint, you know, peeling off, and obviously this sculpt as well. So it's kind of neat. Like I didn't expect this because, like I mentioned, they had just did one like 4 months ago. But as far as other companies, I mean, dude, yeah, I mean, these guys always do stuff like that, right? You get 2 or 3 different companies making the same character all the time. It seems like once something comes out, like a week later, another third party announces their version, and then another third party, you know, will announce theirs. So, but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good considering. And again, yeah, I don't know if that's you know, a rumor or fact about Jack Nicholson, but I would imagine if they don't have it, they'd have to reacquire it, and it's probably a pain in the ass, or you know, money. So I don't know if Hot Toys is going to drop another Joker again, but I think it looks pretty good, man. I think it looks pretty good. I've been considering it. Especially like you said, you know, with the 2.0 '89 coming. But how many do you need, right? Because if you have this one, and if you have the other Mars Toys, and then you have the DX08, do I need 3 Jack Nicholson Jokers? Maybe.
Well, that's a good question.
Maybe.
But I guess if we have to rephrase the question is, before we just got one, right? Now you're gonna have 3 technically, right? Because it's 2 different looks in this one with this, you know, like I guess real skin color, and then the white one with some, you know,
yeah, because this is the part where you put the makeup on,
right?
And then it starts to, you know, melt off, and then that's the other sculpt. So it's you know, and then of course then you've got the original Mars Toys from a few months ago. So you have 3 different kind, and then of course they did the mime, and so did Hot Toys. But you know, so it's like you could have like 5 or 6 different versions. So I don't know.
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. And I want to say hi to my friend Joel, big brother in the house. You just need one, the licensed one. Yeah, I know, but you know what? He did a review of the Jack Nicholson, the Joker, and I actually like it very much. I think it looks really good. It doesn't look that bad, but he's super picky, so sometimes I don't know if I should believe Joao or not. but I mean, the head sculpt is pretty good, you know, and I think these guys are doing a good job. I have Indiana Jones. Is that Mars Toys? Shit, I always forget.
No,
I think
that was
it
Present
is.
Toys, I think.
Present Toys? Is that Present Toys? Yeah, Present Toys.
is,
Present
yeah.
Toys. Yes, Present Toys. So, but this one here looks good. So Mr. Costa, what are your thoughts about this Joker, 1989 version 3 Joker?
Well, I was very surprised when I saw this. I at first I thought they were just doing another run of the last one, but then scrolling through the pictures and seeing the one where the makeup is totally on with the skin tones, and I'm just like, this looks really good. I don't know if that's how it's going to end up, but I'm very tempted to grab this one because it's not really like the head sculpt's not even like the Hot Toys one. So it would be you know, something different to have in the collection with my, you know, '89 Joker. And if Hot Toys doesn't have the license and they're coming out with an '89 Batman with that diorama of the bell tower with the gargoyle, yeah, I'm gonna hope that they go back and try to, you know, get the license and you know, for those people that don't have that Joker, you know, can get the Hot Toys version. But this one looks great. I am very tempted to get it. I'm playing the scene in my head. I'm like, who do you trust? Who do you trust? It's just, yeah. It's I'm talking myself into it. Anyway.
And because the Hot Toys one is very pricey, Connor, I think this one could be a good solid option for collectors that miss out on the 89 Joker. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. After seeing that 89 Batman, I'm kind of even more so than I was prior to this reissue. I've been fiending for Keaton film Batman figures. Being that the original DX figures, not as much the mime Joker, but the original purple coat Nicholson Joker is super expensive. This is going to be a hot seller for a lot of people, especially because the different options it comes with. In terms of is Hot Toys going to come out with another Joker, I did also see some trusted people that I know saying that they did lose the license. But again, I personally can't confirm it either. With that being said, would it be smart of them to try to acquire that license? Because think of it, if we get another Nicholson Joker and we've got these amazing 89 Keaton pieces, imagine how well those together would sell. You know what I mean? It's like you can't have one without the other. So everybody who's interested in those Keaton film figures are going to buy them all up. So I hope that they come out with another one. But if they don't, this is an amazing option. And the fact that you not only get the standard sculpt, you get the makeup running sculpt, and the full skin tone makeup sculpt. I mean, you really can't ask for much more. But I am in the club that I would like to see another Hot Toys one, because most of my figures are Hot Toys figures. I would like to see an official one because it just makes me feel good about myself when I have an official figure, you know?
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's no really confirmation that they lost the license. I don't think they will never say, oh, I lost the license. I don't think they will.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, who knows? Maybe they're working on it. Maybe they're working to renew it. Maybe they're working on something else. And the same way they did the 2.0 1989 Batman, they can do a 2.0 Jack Nicholson Joker, and they can add maybe more accessories into it. Maybe doing another DX version. You know, they can do anything literally. You know, and there's another topic we're going to talk about later in the show, but you know, the way I see this is that third-party companies are really, you know, stepping up. And I saw many ones that really are really bad in terms of quality and likeness. But then there's other ones that are really good. Like you kind of wonder sometimes, oh shoot, is this Hot Toys? Sometimes you kind of wonder, right?
Right.
You know, if they put something with Hot Toys logo, for example, Soso Toys, or maybe, you know, Present Toys, some figures, you know, or M Toys or any other company, Soso Toys, for example, right? If they put the Hot Toys logo there just to play a prank, you'll see it. Oh, wow, Hot Toys is doing really good. And then when they're no, it's not Hot Toys, it's XYZ company. You're gonna be like, oh shoot, they're improving a lot of the quality, and that's, you know, we can see, right? Of course, prototypes. I always cautious when I talk about figures because prototypes are prototypes. You know, I don't like to just give my final judgment until I see the figure final run. Think about many cases that we got issues with prototypes, like Ray, for example, right? Everyone destroyed that figure, and then when they came out, one of the best sculpts, right? Same thing with Kylo Ren. We got, I don't know, you know, then we have the opposite, right? What happened with Mark 85 with Tony Stark, right? They have really one sculpt was shown on the prototype, another one completely different was given to us. So, you know, we have scenarios like that. But with all these companies coming into play, third-party companies and licensed companies like, you know, in our studios, probably one point, rumor has it, maybe J&D or maybe Prime One that decide to go to this 1/6 world, you know, they are gonna, you know, Hot Toys need to kind of like also pay attention to what they're doing, right? And again, that's gonna be another topic. I don't want to kind of jump ahead. If anyone had to rate this figure based on the pictures here, what is the score that you will give him, Connor?
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because I would have to feel the body and everything. If I'm just going off of likeness and what the paint apps appear to be like, I think it's a great looking prototype. I've never owned a figure from this company, so again, I don't know how their bodies feel. Articulation is a big thing for me. Not only that,
Right.
like I hate loose limbs on figures, as we all do. So I can't really go beyond 7, but 7 I think is pretty solid for a figure that I haven't even had in my hand, and I'm just going off of pictures, you know. And not only that, accessories play into that. I think there's a good amount of accessories, and they've covered most of what we would want. So
That's a good point. And also, Joao says, remember, these promo photos are with the HOTTOYS outfit. That hat gives it away. Oh wow, I didn't even realize. But yeah, at this point, I would not be surprised. You know, it would be kind of exactly the same thing what happened with Anakin when they had a head sculpt with a rooted hair that looked like a
oh
little,
man,
Mhm.
you
yeah,
know.
we don't talk about
Remember
that figure.
But anyway, Costa, what the score will be for this one?
Well, just basing it on the sculpt, to me, I would give it about an 8. I'm very cautious about it. You know, if it was I don't know if it was a recast on one head sculpt, and the other one looks totally new and different from the Hot Toys. But yeah, I'd give it an 8.
So Troy from La Cueva del Griton says, after M Toys fell on the code of their second Bane, I will wait to Mars Toys version on Joker 89. Yeah, you see, I'm not too I guess familiar with third party brands yet. You know, obviously Joao is a perfect resource for this. He's knowledgeable. You know, I just learned a lot from him. So, you know, kudos to Joao. But I heard horror stories about different figures, you know, especially third party. So that's what I'm saying. Like we have really good companies and then we have really bad ones, right?
Mhm.
Mr. Anthony, what will be the score for you on this Joker based on these promo pictures?
Well, just off the see, I don't like that sculpt as much. I don't know if it's my eyes or just I don't know. There's something about that particular sculpt I'm not feeling. But the painted one, yeah, like there's a good 7 or 8 just off the photos. Just, you know, so again, you know, as you guys mentioned, like, you know, having it in hand or something, we'll know more. Obviously, the quality's not going to be like a Hot Toys standard quality. Put a little, you know, just a little less, a little flimsier maybe. Some of those bodies, it just again, it depends. You know, fabric used, materials used, but like that picture right there is great. Like that could be, you know, that could be sitting there in the collection just like that. And I don't think that anybody would have any problems with that. That looks pretty awesome right there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good.
And Toybox made a good point. He says collectors can see a third party figure that comes out perfect. I will say I hope HOTTOYS does it. And it is true. I mean, perfect example is the Vulture, right? We got Jazz Inc. doing it. We got Toys Era doing it. We got another company, which I remember the name, another third party company doing it.
Like
And then
Eternal or Immortal.
Eternal Toys, yeah.
Eternal Toys. And then Hot Toys came up and said, you know what, hold my beer. Even though they didn't show nothing. They just show like a little picture, maybe like from years ago. But people now are waiting for it because, you know, when they make that announcement, said, okay, we're gonna give you that. You know, it could be a tactic, just kind of to screw those people up and people stop, you know, ordering just to wait for Hot Toys, and maybe Hot Toys are gonna wait another year to announce it. But they've been showing it constantly in San Diego Comic Con. They showed it plus the picture. So, you know, I think that particular figure is going to be very, very popular. I think, you know. Okay, so that's enough for the Joker. I will probably give it 7.5 as well. You know, just because I don't know much about the company. You know, I need to have the figure in hand to feel it. Prototype pictures look really good. I mean, most of the prototype pictures are always good. Well, no, let me rephrase. Almost most of the time, not all the time. So yeah, I have to be careful, man, when I say something. All right, so that's the Joker, and then we have this guy here. We have Bruce Wayne, and this one I'm digging it. So Connor, I'm gonna start with you on this one. Bruce Wayne, 1989. This one looks really good. I like it.
I like this one. I mean, I think the likeness is mostly there. Do I think it is as strong as that Nicholson Joker that we just looked at? No, in terms of like strength of likeness. I know they're different companies, but I like this. I think this is one that a lot of people were probably hoping for. This is, I'm sure, typically a figure that you would have to kit bash and source all the different parts all over the place. And especially with a suit coat like this, it's such a pain to get it to fit right. And I think at least based on what I'm seeing from the photos here, it looks like the fit of the clothing is really nice. So I'm not sure. Did we get a price on this one yet? Is this up for pre-order yet? I haven't been following this one too closely.
No, but I don't want to give it away. I know Joao is gonna do his. He has a show on every week. It's a news show, so he gives you prices and everything. Again,
Gotcha.
he's the go-to person on the third party. I just gonna try to steal his ideas and put it on my show.
But anyways, going off of that, I think depending on the price of this one, a lot of people might end up picking it up because obviously this one's not going to come with a lot, as we can see. So it's all depending on the price point, honestly.
Yeah, I do agree. Depends on the price. I don't see this going for $200. This is gonna be at least 150, 170 maybe. Go ahead, Costa.
No, I was gonna say it's inexpensive. That's as far as I'll go. So I won't ruin Big Breda's show.
That's good. Good to know.
But yeah.
So any thoughts about the likeness? I kind of like. You see, it looks very 80s, man.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were talking about the chin. They were saying the chin was off, but I'm like, I mean, it's not that bad. Like, I think the likeness is overall there. Really, the nose and the eyes area is what's the strongest, and I think the hairline's good too. So I mean, the chin's a little nitpicky in my opinion, especially if it's a relatively inexpensive figure. I think they did a good job.
I think so too. What do you think, Costa?
Well, when I first saw it, I was like, but you know, you view it under a microscope and look at every detail, and I think the sculpt is there. It maybe it's the painting, you know, the paint apps on it might be a little bringing it down to not 100%. For the price that I just saw, it might be worth a pickup because it's a really good price. And if you don't have a Bruce Wayne, I mean, with the glasses on, the picture with the glasses on looked to me the best. And this one right here is pretty good too. So
yeah, I think one of the wrinkles are not accurate enough.
The wrinkles?
One wrinkle here is not. It shouldn't be lying a little bit more like this way, but it's down. It's very inaccurate to me.
Yeah, I guess we can't buy it.
Don't get it.
It's a deal.
Don't get it.
When a freaking like microscope. Wait a second. Wait. There's a little dot here
that's how it gets.
He has a freckle here. There's no freckle here.
I did say someone saying those aren't the right glasses. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh, really?
I've watched that movie a gajillion times. I wouldn't have known those weren't the right glasses.
Right. It's cool that we got them.
No, but nice still, I mean, it's very 80s. It's big. You know,
yeah.
The 80s was
that hair. Yeah, look at that hair. It's like perfectly
fantastic.
Keaton 80s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, this looks good. Anthony, what are your thoughts about this 89 Bruce Wayne?
I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna get this one. I mean, it's because the price isn't bad. Again, as Costa said, you know, when you put the glasses on, it
look at
I don't know. It's even better.
Yeah,
it's even better.
Actually, it looks more than Bruce Wayne with the glasses than without it.
Yeah,
for some reason. I don't know if it's just me.
It totally does. So, you know, when I saw that pop too, because I was like, wow, okay, so they show the Joker, they show the Bruce Wayne. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, so I don't know if I'd get both. I guess it depends, but if I had to choose, I would get this Bruce Wayne. Because I think the only time we had Bruce Wayne was in the 2-pack with Batman Returns. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and who knows? Okay, so they're 2.0ing the 89 Batman. Does that mean that they're going to 2.0 a Bruce Wayne? Maybe. But, you know, if that happens, let's say it happens, it's going to be at least it's going to be at least 2 years, right? If they announced it today, it would be like a year and a half or so out, you know. So, and there's no guarantees. So for this price, I don't mind it. You know, all these figures take time to futz with too. Like, you know, you really have to dress them and pull them tight, and you know, sometimes use like other tools to keep the outfits how they appear in a lot of photos, which is fine if you're into that. You know, you'll be able to work it out. So yeah, dude, with this price, not a bad. Again, and if Hot Toys drops one, this isn't that big of a hit to the wallet, and I'm sure you could resell it, you know, if it came down to it. So I wouldn't. In other words, if I can use this now, and then, you know, maybe in 2 years one comes out, sell this for maybe half or a little more than half of what I paid for, I don't care. That's a deal to me, you know, because why not? Because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee they're going to drop another one. So
Yeah, that's true. I think, you know, somebody mentioned in the chat that if this were to be Hot Toys, the price would be 290 at least, 280. I don't think it would be that pricey. Maybe definitely in the 250 range. Definitely, right? If it's Hot Toys. But this one here, I don't think it's probably gonna be tops $170 tops. You know, and I think even that is pricey because this is not a licensed figure, so they cannot go crazy. You know,
It's even better than that.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Someone put it in the chat.
It's sub 150.
Okay, so that's actually much better.
It's a very good price. I just put it in my cart. So
All right, you guys got to stop, man.
Stop it. You guys enabling people here.
Oh yeah, hardcore.
Let's all buy it now. Let's just make a moment.
Let's
People
just-
buy it while we're buying everything.
let's do a blood pact and just buy everything we talked
Right.
about tonight.
I know, right?
let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, no, this one looks good. I mean, it doesn't come with a lot of accessories because obviously it's Bruce Wayne. So let me see if I can just put it like that and remove this one here. So you can see we have hands, we have some what's it, the glass of
Yeah, he's got like a champagne glass. And,
yeah.
Look at that extra bow tie and cummerbund.
right?
Oh.
The ball tie. So I think it looks good. You know, for the price, good option, right? Especially now that they're gonna do the 1989 Batman. But who knows, man? Maybe they do another 2.0 Batman Returns with a Bruce Wayne with
I mean,
tuxedo.
you know, if
At
they
this
do, it's going to be a
point-
while from now, though. I mean,
Man,
Yeah.
at
they're
this
not going to
point-
back to back it, bro.
Yeah. I don't-
Well, for
yeah.
one, they haven't even announced the 89.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still kind of like, take your time, right? Like, are you gonna put this thing out? Because until it's an announcement, I mean, I'm just too old, man. I don't want to have too much hope and then be let down. So
Don't give
you
up
know,
hope.
I really hope they do. Well, I mean, come on, think about it, right? They show the 89, they show the armory, you know, like in the Batcave, and then they show the Batwing. So it's like, shit, man. You're putting all this time and resources and R&D into making all this stuff just to tease. Like, I know it's not. It's got to be more than a flex. So, but we don't know. We don't know until they hit that announcement.
We don't know. We don't know. But there's another thing I want to show you guys. Since we are in the Batman topic, you know, with the Joker and everyone. So, you know, we saw this one in the Comic-Con, right? And I was very happy to see this, to be honest with you. I was not expecting this at all. I don't think a lot of people didn't expect this at all. The fact that they are very clever, this is not a straight reissue, this is a 2.0, because this is probably going to be a DX with that beautiful base, with the gargoyle and everything else. You know, people missed out on these releases, especially new collectors, right? And we're going to transition to the next topic. So how much has collecting changed in the past 2 years? You know, COVID hit, you know, a lot of people, you know, were regular collectors, you know, and, you know, some of them stopped collecting. Some of us start collecting again. Like, because at one point I kind of like stopped collecting, you know, pretty much sold a lot of figures, got my house. But then when COVID hit, I needed something to, I don't know, to entertain myself, I guess, to just think about other things than work. Because when you're home working, your mind is work 24/7, really, because you cannot go out. COVID, you know, you can go out. And you know, you spend your time maybe working more hours. A lot of people got, you know, burned out working. So I decided to went back to collecting. I opened my channel and all those things, going back to pictures, taking photos, and all those things. But I'm going to start with Costa. How much has collecting have changed in the past 2 years?
Well, when COVID hit, I think there was an influx of new collectors because it just, I don't know, when you're at home, you have, you're working from home or you're for some reason your job, they made you, they cut you loose for that time. You had a lot of, extra time. You're on YouTube. I just saw, it felt like there was a big, huge explosion of YouTube one and just collecting and, collecting channels, collecting Instagrams. So I think there was, a big boom there, but recently with like the slowdown of figures coming out, I think a lot of people are putting the brakes right now, just trying to feel things out and see how everything turns out as we're coming out of the pandemic, and hopefully shipping gets better, factories are up and running, and figures get released, because that's there's still a big ass backlog of figures. So yeah, it's a big boom in the beginning and breaks, and I'm seeing a lot of people sell their collections on the pages too. So there are people trying to get out, but you're never going to get out. You're stuck. You will always,
very true.
10 years down the road, you're going to be like, why did I sell that figure? Why did I? Because I've done that with stuff that I've had as a kid, and I made a good amount of money on it, but then like 5 years, 10 years later, I'm like, oh shit, I wish I had it. And you look at the price, and it's even more. And anyway, but yeah, so that's it has changed.
It has changed a lot, but it changed in a lot of ways. And I don't know if it's just me, but I think we are, as collectors, I think we mature a lot in the past 2 years. My perception, I can be 100% wrong, but this is how I see it. Back in the day, like 5-7 years ago, maybe more than that, when you were collecting something, when you're buying a figure, you were just you pretty much were buying stuff because you just want to get the next new figure, right? The next thing in your collection, right? But now, or at least the past couple of years, people have been a bit more conscious of what to get. They are paying more attention in prices. They paying more attention of where to get the figure from, if this seller reliable, if this seller not reliable. Of course, there's always scammers, there's always people that are going to be bad and try to fool you, right? That's everywhere. That's not going to stop ever, I think. But I noticed that collectors are more mindful of what they're getting. They ask the question all the time, try to negotiate price, try to find places to get an affordable price and things like that. At the same time, I see that this is more like a sharing knowledge. People put stuff on Facebook. Hey guys, this is a post about, hey, I bought a figure, I get scammed. Just make sure that when you buy from these people, you check this, you check that, you do your research. They give you kind of like advice. And I think in the past I didn't see that much. Maybe because social media wasn't that crazy as it is now. That could be a factor as well. Now you can share pretty much everything on the spot. But I noticed those little things, right? Connor, I know you are new to collecting. I'm assuming. I think you said that you started a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years since I started collecting Hot Toys. I really started going ham, like getting a lot more during the beginning of the whole COVID situation. But it's even from then now, I think the most interesting thing and how it has changed is the secondary market and kind of the state of the secondary market. it used to be like, oh, in 6 months to a year of this figure being sold out, maybe I'll get a little bit more than I paid for it. Now it's like, for most figures, especially like the die-cast Iron Man figures, I mean, it's like I almost don't want to pre-order anything or buy anything in stock anymore, because then I could just go in the secondary market. And like we were saying, some people have buyer's remorse, so they're just getting out of collecting and they sell it for $150 less than it is on any retail site in the US. So it's like, now we're all kind of making our decisions differently. The time of stacking up all these pre-orders is out the window, because one, they're taking a while to get a lot of these figures out. Endgame Loki, where you at? We've been waiting forever for Endgame Loki. So it's like, dropping all these pre-orders doesn't make sense anymore. And then sometimes with certain figures, buying in stock doesn't make any sense anymore. If you got somebody buying it and then turning around and selling it for $150 less than it's on selling for on a US based site, it's like, why would I do that anymore? I mean, if you look at it, particularly with Star Wars, how many figures have reached like a grail status in the secondary market? Commander Cody, the Remnant
Not
Trooper,
even, dude. I've had my Cody for sale for 2 weeks and no one's buying them.
Right. Cody's kind of dropped too, but I'm sure you remember at one point people were paying like $350 to $375 for Cody, and even that figure has taken a hit. So it's like,
yeah,
that's a good point that you're kind of making there. Like, even the ones that did kind of reach a bit of a price hike, they're all dropping down. The Remnant Trooper has dropped down. The Mud Trooper has dropped down. Like, all these figures that were starting to rise in price, dropping down. The Ray Dio pack, that was kind of starting to go up. That's dropping down again. So it's like the secondary market is like in a bad state. That's why when I saw that whole Arena Boba Fett thing, I was like, that's got to be on purpose. Like, they know that their figures are struggling in the secondary market. So that's kind of like a power move. Like, oh, we can still do limited stuff. So I wasn't super shocked by that at all, because it kind of made sense to me when I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, well, that's kind of maybe a response to the state of the secondary market. And of course, part of it is the Hong Kong resellers and stuff. They kind of compete with each other and sell stuff cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So there's so much that goes into it, but I think that's the most interesting thing for me.
It is a very good point. You know, secondary market has a lot to do as well. Hong Kong reseller has a lot to do with this as well. You know, in 2 years, I noticed a lot of things. You know, 2 years ago, if you were buying something from day one, Hong Kong, you were probably paying $150 more, give or take $100, $150 more per figure, right? Now, not so much. Now you can actually get day one figures, maybe $50, $75 more. Obviously, shipping is a different animal. I'm not going to put shipping in it. Shipping will add up. But some of them want to buy the figure, but they can pay the more affordable shipping option because they really don't need it to have it like tomorrow, for example, right? They can wait a week. Still gonna get it before anyone, right? Because by the time the retailers in the US start getting their batches, it's gonna be 2 months at least. And but the thing is that, Anthony, going with you now, is that in 2 years we saw a lot of things. We saw a bunch of delays happening, cancellations left and right, issues with the final product from HOTTOYS. Let's name, Tony Stank from Iron Man, right? That people start complaining, and rightfully so, because the health scope was really bad compared to the actual prototype that was shown. In person doesn't look that bad. I was gonna keep that because it doesn't look that bad in person, but I'm all with the collectors. It's not what you told me at the beginning. Why are you changing it now? That screwed up pretty much everything. Everything got delayed because of that. More resources they need to put into place. They need to reissue a head scope to start delivering. So a lot of things happen in 2 years. But what are your thoughts? What is your, I guess, summary of how you saw collecting for the past 2 years?
Man, how much time we got? I mean, there's so much shit that's changed in the past 2 years alone. I mean, whether you start with, okay, let's talk about the market for a minute, because that's a huge factor, right? I'm kind of one of those guys at this point now where I too wait. I just wait, because why not? Because people just sell stuff pennies on the dollar. It's a sad state of affairs that it is, but there's, like, I don't have Snowspeeder Luke right now, and I need to have him because I'm all OT, right? But I'm gonna pick him up cheap. I'm just gonna pick him up cheap because that's the other thing to factor. The market is so screwed right now that, and like you said, third party companies, Toys Wonderland just doing insane undercuts, on Sideshow, makes Sideshow have a shitload of extra stock. They can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? And then other people buy into hype from other influencers and this is the best figure ever. You got to buy it. You got to buy it. They buy it. And then like 3 weeks later, they're kind of like, why did I buy this? Maybe I don't really like it. Right. And then, cause you see it every time, every new release, $10, man. Like the Dark Troopers are going to be on BSTs in like 2 weeks. They just are, people bought into them. They're like, oh, this is a great fit. Not to say that it's not, you know what I mean? But if it's not for you, then why buy it? Right. You see what I'm saying? So all of this market is just completely oversaturated, where if you're trying to sell figures, it's not a good time. It's a buyer's market right now. So this is all screwed up for that side. Collector side, we had everybody coming in, from the stimulus babies is what it was. You know what I mean? So many people got a bunch of money. They're like, hey, this is kind of cool. Not everybody, but we've seen it. There's a ton of new people coming in, and I think a lot of them may not have been collectors, not just Hot Toys, but just collect. You know what I mean? Like most of us, we've collected something our whole lives. Since way back in the day, right? Maybe they're smaller scale, whatever. But being a collector, I think a lot of people got into it. They're at home, they got extra money, they find a community. It's kind of cool. They get into it. The faucet runs dry. Now everything's screwed up with the economy, and people are like, well, wait a minute. And that's the unfortunate part too, right? Because, as you mentioned earlier, there were times where you're like, hey, okay, this figure's sold out. Maybe I'll be able to make a little bit of profit off of it but because of the way the situation is now, no, like unless you have some older stuff, right? Like if I was to sell all my OT stuff, I would make profit, obviously, right? Because they were like $200 at retail, right?
And it's super hot
Same
right
with
now too.
The Rogue One shelf would probably, you know what I mean? I'll make, and this is assuming you have everything at retail, or lower. So if you're buying backwards, then you're definitely taking a hit, right? So I don't know. That's a lot has changed, and again, like we've seen so many new faces, but then we're also seeing so many of these faces leaving too, right? Because of this. So it's and a lot of collectors, like even myself, right? Like I was collecting Star Wars for so long, and my Marvel, that at some point I was just like, oh man, all I'm collecting is Star Wars, and my other one-offs and stuff in the other room, but. It was always Star Wars, and you're just like, wow, everything's so crazy right now that for me to enjoy my collection, it was like I ended up getting rid of all the prequel stuff, all the Clone Wars stuff, not because I don't like it, but I just don't connect to it as much as like original trilogy, for example. But 2 years ago it was like, yo, I'm just getting everything Star Wars. Screw it. You know what I mean? Regardless. And then when you start looking at everything and you're just like, I don't really connect with that as much as, say, the original trilogy, right? So again, and same with you and other people, like your people's tastes are evolving, I think, and that's just natural over time, but especially now because everything's so expensive too, that, maybe your tastes start to change. You're like, well, wait a minute. Like I am not spending $400 on a Love and Thunder Thor. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that. After tax and shipping, he's like $400. So to me, that's insane. I mean, that's just an example. So imagine if I was continuing down this Marvel line. I just, like I said, prices, everything, dude. We could go on for hours with this stuff. It's changed so much.
And this is the point of the show, right? Between collectors, because we need to speak about these things and share our thoughts. Because hey, we know that a lot of things have changed in 2 years. Like somebody said, let me see if I can flash the comment. So AJ said he found a lot of awesome YouTube collectible content creators in the last 2 years, and that's true. I literally started 2 years ago, right? Yes. So it is crazy, like how much time has passed and how many things have changed. And at the same time, when I started, I saw a lot of people coming as well, like full force doing day one reviews, and then all of a sudden stop doing it because at the same time, it takes planning and it takes money and time to do these things, right? and because of COVID, a lot of things change in maybe work related, finance related, things like that, and we just kind of need to adjust to the world when we're living in certain times, right?
Yeah, we got to
So
adapt, right? I
we
mean,
have to.
I hate to
Go
see
ahead.
people go too, because I've seen some people and not even just content creators, just people in the
In
community.
general,
They're like, man, I've had people message me like, dude, I got to get out.
go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Costa.
just
You want? Think you want to make
No,
a point?
I was agreeing with Anthony. It's like the community has gotten a lot tighter, and I've met a lot of great people, and I would hate to see them leave and not see their comments or their posts. It's been a wonderful last few years, and I've been having a lot of good time, and I'm glad I've met everybody that I've met, and it's been great. Because back in the day, I started collecting in the late '80s and '90s, and it was just you going to Walmart at 2 a.m. trying to get the new box, sneak into the boxes and get all the new figures and the rare ones that only come 1-2 a pack. And I was mostly Star Wars. In fact, I collected all the Star Wars back then.
Wow.
And there was like nobody, nobody to talk to. Everybody, oh, you collect toys, and they'd come into my room and they'd see the whole collection all nice and displayed and everything, and you just didn't have anybody to talk to about that stuff. And with social media and YouTube and you have somebody to talk to that you can relate to. I mean, my wife loves hearing me talk to her about this stuff, but not all the time.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this has been one of the biggest things for me, is the social media aspect of it over the last like 4 or 5 years. So
That's true.
yeah.
Well, even if 10 years ago, if you think about it, man, we didn't even really have we didn't have like Twitter or Instagram. It's, when you think about it, you're like, wait, it doesn't sound that long ago. But like even a decade ago, like you were saying, you have MySpace, Facebook just kind of starting up a little bit.
Social media has a lot to do in this. It's
huge
evolution.
deal.
We evolved so much. Now you can do anything anywhere, and you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need nothing fancy. Literally,
No.
you can do anything with your phone now, and that's it. You can have your channel right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
my big concern, I'd say though, over the last 2 years for me was, again, because I was so heavy into my Star Wars of just because Star Wars is so big, right? That you have to, there's lanes within lanes. And with everything being so expensive now, right? It wasn't so bad then. And again, when we were talking about, earlier points, was like, you were like, well, okay, if I wanted to get rid of something, there's a little bit of value to be had, right? Now it's just ridiculous. So, I started just looking at my collection and saying, you know what? I need every figure. If I'm just talking 6 scale, it doesn't have to be Hot Toys, just 6 scale figures in general. Any 6 scale figure I have in my collection, I have to absolutely love. You know? And I lost that over time. And I don't know if that's part of being in a community, or there's a number of reasons, right? Because you have fun. And you go, hey, look, I got that one too. That's really cool. Or shit, you just convinced me to buy this figure that I'm really not into. Right? I'm like, oh wow, okay, this does look pretty badass. I'll get it. That's what I'm saying. So then it got to a point where even with Star Wars, I was just kind of like, well, I would just pick one up and put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then so, and again, it's different. Like, I'm trying to keep every figure I have, like, what I really, really, really like. Not to say that, that's not to discount like the prequels or even the Clone Wars. It's just, I have more of that nostalgia feeling from original trilogy. And anytime I was looking through my collection, my eyes would always go to
OT
to me. And I'm like, no, that's what's up. Mando is kind of a necessity in a weird way, because I have 100% of the Mando line, and I do enjoy the show. So it's, even though it's a current, 2020, it's not in the 80s or anything. There's no nostalgia there. but Mando brought me back into Star Wars more than any other Star Wars show did. So it's kind of like, well, I have 100% of the damn line. I'm gonna just keep rolling it.
I'm right there with you.
Mando is a weird one for me. When the show's on, I'm like, oh, I have to get it all. I need it now. And then it's not on, and then I see all the I had to cut pre-orders at one point, and a lot of it was the Mando Ahsoka, and it just the non essentials of Mando. But then, it comes back on and I'm just like, oh, I got to pre-order. I got to get this. This one's available now.
Mm.
But yeah, that's like original trilogy all day. I'm with you on that, Anthony. I think we're around the same age. So
yeah.
So we have that, that
it's hard, right?
Nostalgia for it. Yeah.
You just instantly like gravitate to it more than say looking at, the prequels. And now there's a lot of generation watching now grew up with the prequels. So to them, that's their OT. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, no, I have to have everything prequel.
Yeah, and it brings so much of my childhood back. Like when the Empire Strikes Back came out and that wave of figures came out, my parents for Christmas, they didn't even wrap them. They just threw a bunch of figures and toys in a trash bag and stuck it under the tree. And they're like, all right, boys, just whatever you guys decide which ones you grab.
You can choose.
Shred it all up anyway. What the hell? Just throw it in the bag.
So yeah, it brings me back. It brings me, like the original trilogy brings me back to those days where I come home, my neighbors going to see Return of the Jedi. My parents say we're staying with them, so I got to go see Return of the Jedi because I was hanging out with my neighbor and his kids. So yeah.
Damn.
Those are the memories, right?
Those are the memories.
That's what it comes down to, right? I mean, the majority of I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like the majority of collectors doesn't even have to be 6 scale, just collectors, right? I think the majority of it really does cater to the nostalgia, I mean, otherwise,
and I have to relate. I have to agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. Blackbird Tech said 1/6 market really shaking out. One of the biggest culprits is that there are way too many figures to choose from, and that's a fact. We have too many figures, Connor. And you see Hot Toys announcing figures left and right, and then we have third-party companies. Then we have the statues. Then we have 1/12 figures. Then we have Inard doing 1/6 scale again. So much to choose from, no?
Yeah, and it's funny. I was having this conversation with a few of my friends the other day when we saw this Marvel roadmap over the next couple, I guess, few years. And I was saying to him, like, right, there's like, I'm like, there's no way that they're going to keep up with the volume that they're currently doing for all these shows and everything. They're going to start limiting it to like 2 figures, if that, per show, because they're going to want to focus on all these big Avengers films and such like that to where they could still keep up with these releases. Because obviously they're still not keeping up very well. We're already into late 2023, 2024 with some stuff, if I feel like. So it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to pick and choose, and kind of we're all going to have to do the same thing that Anthony did. Take a look at our collection. What am I really in love with? What can I part with? And that's going to be something that I'm going to have to do sooner than later, especially that I'm into Marvel and all these other universes now. And I kind of feel the same way as Anthony when he said, like, I was buying stuff and just being like, oh, cool, and putting it on the shelf. I've had a couple figures come in recently where I kind of felt the same way. I was like, it's nice. I don't have any issues with it. But when I sit it on the shelf, my eyes don't get drawn to it throughout the week very often. You know what I mean? So it's like, especially with the volume of all the stuff that's coming out, everybody's going to kind of have to start making those decisions, especially if you have a larger collection like a lot of us do. It's scary. That's to say the least. People were saying in a group chat, and they were saying they're scared of all these releases coming out. And I think that's fair because there's just so much coming out, and you're going to have to make difficult decisions that you may not want to make because as collectors, we don't like selling stuff by nature. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
We're going to get really scared. I'll say that. And I've said that on my show too. Dante, like you have to have the foresight to know that, for example, when everything gets announced for a month, you do yourself a favor. Okay, so now it's almost the end of July, right? So August 1st, just as an experiment, go back to July and see everything that Hot Toys announced in the month of July. Then factor how many of those figures do you want, and then realize that in a year and a half they're all going to hit you. And that's what happened at the back end of April was Bespin Luke, and then all of May was just the explosion of all the Attack of the Clones, and then the Bark Speeder, and then the other Bark Speeder with Oppo. All those are going to hit you, like you know what I'm saying. If you're now, you don't have to get everything at once, but the point is, people get eager and they're all, hell yeah, I'm gonna pre-order $20. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, like you said, people are getting scared. They're like, oh God, I'm gonna get hit with all these invoices.
Let me ask you this question. And okay, so you said $20, right? The pre-ordering stuff, depending on where you pre-order from.
Right.
Do you think, and this could be a silly question, but I'm just gonna drop it. Do you think if companies in general, they do, let's say, I don't know, again, this could be silly, so please don't hit me hard. I'm just gonna say it. Let's say companies do 30% NRD of the figure, right? Just to throw a percentage, let's do 30%. What are the chances that you're gonna keep that order?
Well, that depends, dude. It depends on the company too, right?
Let's talk
like
about
Sideshow,
let's talk exclusively Hot Toys, and let's talk exclusively, like, of course, if you do it like Comic Concepts, or if you do it through Sideshow or any other seller, or authorized seller, that they increase the NRDs to 30%. Would that play in favor of, because remember, if you put 30% down now for a figure, I don't know, let's do the math here, right? $200 figure, right? 10% is what? $20. $200 figure, right? So 30% is $60. So $60 you owe $140. By the time you get that bill, you're gonna pay $140 plus shipping and taxes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't know. Sometimes I think, and again, this could be stupid, this could be silly, but I think when you commit to a 30% down payment for something, chances are that you're gonna keep that. So I will probably see less chances for you to cancel, unless obviously, you lose your job or something major happens, something major that is gonna change your life, of course, right? But if not, just because I think people will end up keeping those orders instead of canceling. Again, it could be stupid, could be silly. I'm just
it's not. I think if it was like a bigger purchases, like vehicles, perhaps, larger ticket items, I think a larger NRD is good, especially for shops that are more local, brick and mortar, mom and pops that really have to float a lot of money up front on a lot of things, and then they don't want to get hit, because then they're getting, not to say like Sideshow isn't, but Sideshow is like huge in the respect that they can afford that, get hit, and they'll resell it or relist it, whatever. I don't think Sideshow would do it, only because you are right in a sense that there would be less people pre-ordering, I think. But on the other side of Sideshow's coin is that I think they like where their NRDs are at now, because so many people do cancel. So they're making just this residual income from people bailing out.
That's another good point as well.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a tricky situation.
It's a tricky situation, because if you think about it, right? I don't know how Sideshow does their business. I'm just gonna assume that if I see 20 people pre-ordering a figure, I'm gonna order, okay, give me 30, right? 20 to fulfill my pre-orders, and 10 to sell when it's in stock. Just to give you a number, random number. If people canceling stuff, that means they're gonna, yes, I lost $10. I lost the people lost whatever, but but still, it's not enough to make for a figure, right? Still, you pay for the shipping to get the product delivered to your place. Still, you need to place the order, pay in full the order, most likely. So, if it is increased to 30, and again, this could be stupid. I'm just gonna give you my thought and what I think. if it is increased to 30%, right? Yes, it's kind of steep putting 30% of something that you don't have yet, but I think when you get the bill, especially when you have so many things happening at once, it may not hit as hard because you already paid 30% of the figure. So that money's already gone for a year, right? Or a year and a half, whatever wait time you waiting for that particular figure. When the time comes, you pay 30% plus shipping. I mean, whatever you owe plus shipping, and adds up. I think, that's why I'm in favor of putting a bit. Me personally, I don't mind putting 20%, 25% down for something. I don't mind. I don't like to pay off my stuff, right? If I'm not gonna have it within a month. I'm not because it's pretty much my money is put into something that I'm not gonna have for a year and a half. So basically, they're using my money to invest and making money with my money. So
Yeah.
that's the way I see it. And again, I can be wrong. This is just my perception, but anyone can chime in.
I would just wrap on this saying, and I know this is probably a hard pill to swallow, myself included, but you have to ask yourself, can you afford it? Right?
That's true.
And what I mean by that is the general rule that I like to follow, and it doesn't happen all the time, believe me. Whatever the price, whatever the cost of the figure is, do I have at least 3 times that amount of money? Whether it's right now, if I'm buying cash up front, or if it's, annually in my budget, like what are my earnings, right? So if a figure costs baseline $300, I don't want to buy it unless I have $900. You know what I'm saying? Then I could be like, I can afford that. And a lot of us don't do that. Why would we? Well, we can put it a little bit down now. We'll, trickle the money in, and but like you said, something comes up. You gotta, get a, new radiator on your car or whatever, and you're like, shit, I just had to spend like $600, and then this is coming up, and so it's like easier said than done. I get that, but I always try to go by like I want to have at least 3 times the cost of whatever I'm buying. Then you're like, I can afford it. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? So just try to budget. That's the best thing I could say, man. You know what I mean? It gets tough.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we're asking for more figures. Everyone wants. I want more figures. I don't. Whether I'm gonna get it or not, that's a different story. I cannot
there's
get
no
every
rush
single.
either. There's no rush.
Give
me 200 figures. That's fine.
Give me 1,000 figures. I mean, it's fine. Really, the point here is, it's when the time comes, and if you order everything, you're gonna get hit at one point, right? It's gonna happen at one point. Look what happened in Q4 last year. We got back-to-back releases, like 5 releases a week. And people were hurt, right? And because it is reality. That's what happened. Not too many people plan ahead. Not too many people have a budget or a spreadsheet where they put whatever they're going to spend, and they know what they're going to spend. And then when it comes, they're fully prepared because they know, right? Not everyone is like that. They do mental calculation. And sometimes I do mental stuff as well. Sometimes I forget, oh, shoot, I pre-ordered this already.
Yeah, but
and
then
I
get lost real quick when you got like 12 figures coming or something.
Dude,
like,
you do get lost. And it happened to me many times in the past. I got lost many times because I didn't realize. And I don't cancel stuff. Really rare cancel orders. That's why when I do pre-orders, I kind of like pick and choose what I'm going to pre-order because I know I want to get it. And I know it's going to come my way no matter what, right? Because I do reviews, sometimes I get the figures, most of the time I get the figures quicker, right? And sometimes I get a really good deal. So if I pre-order something and then I get something at a good deal, I have to choose what I'm going to do, So that's why I don't pre-order as much, only until after I get the figure in hand. And then I said, okay, this is a beautiful figure. I want to get it. So then I pre-order it, right? And then part ways for that figure to make my money back and then order for the next one. So I play around with that.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to hear all your thoughts on this. This was something that came into my mind a few months ago where kind of what you're just saying right there. Okay, so perfect example was the Pattinson Batman, right? Hot Toys announced the Batman, got the spotlight, looks cool. They update, it looks like a really great figure. It's the first movie. Granted, it's the first movie of a trilogy too that we have to keep in mind, right? Now, let's just say, okay, it came out. I made a video on it. I was like, wow, this is like the best Batman they've made like figure wise. I'm ignoring nostalgia and all that stuff. I'm like, this is a great looking figure. Now, okay, so you get into it, you're like, oh, all right, badass, I'm pre-ordering this bitch right now. A year and a half goes by, right? And you're like, that was a cool movie, and I liked it then, and now it's time to buy it. I feel a lot of people have that happen to them, where they're like, and maybe I'm just using Batman as an example, right? It could be Days of Future Past Wolverine, or anything. Pick any, you know what I'm saying? My point is, people are like, oh, yeah, I got to get this, and they pre-order it. 2 years down the road, maybe they're, again, kind of what we were talking about in the previous topic, is your taste change a little bit, or maybe, you know, you're just like, no, I enjoy the movie, but maybe, you know, looking around, you're like, maybe I don't really need that figure, though. I'm not as hyped about it as I thought I was a year and a half ago. And that's what I was wondering, like, if that happens to you guys a lot or at all.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it does. It's the thing with these 6-scale figures that there's that 2-year wait, you know? And unless it, you know, harkens back to something that brought happiness to you or you connect with back in the day, it's really hard for a lot of this new stuff to connect and get that. There's no like instant nostalgia over this Batman. I was guilty too with my video. I freaking love the figure, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the one with the bat signal, because you know you gotta get it with everything, because then later down the road, what if you wanted the bat signal and then you're shit out of luck because you don't have it? And I love the movie, but I'm like, I gotta see if I can get one of those Han Solo and Chewbacca figures that I'm trying to go back and get, because I love them more. And I got the Tarkin Vader 2-pack, and I like that happens all the time. That happens all the freaking time.
Yeah, so I think it's been a very good topic. Obviously, we can go on hours and hours and hours and talk about how much collecting has changed in the past year. But I want to talk about this topic real quick before we wrap things up. So, Black Adam, dude, I'm telling you, this thing looks fantastic. This is Prime One Studios and Blitzway. And we can argue about how the Joker came out. That wasn't the best thing, that we have issues and all that. But this thing looks really good. So I'm going to start with Anthony on this one. Black Adam, I can really wait for Hot Toys to do this. Rumor has it, I don't know how true this is, that we might see Superman in this film as well. Somebody was kind of saying that. I don't know if it's true. But what are your thoughts, Anthony, on this one?
Well, let me think on that. Okay, so this is a Prime One Blitzway. Now, whether Hot Toys does it, I'm sure Hot Toys is going to do it. But let's just throw that out the window for a minute. This itself, this is beautiful. This is an amazing piece. This is the type. Now, look, I again, you know, Costa said it, you know, just a minute ago. That like, even though certain things are new, they don't really hold that nostalgia. That's okay sometimes too, right? Because you find something you really like, whatever. It doesn't always have. It's not always nostalgia, right? But perfect example is something like this. We haven't even seen the movie yet. So, but looking at something like that, you're like, wow, like that's like really high end looking, at least to me, right? And there's a certain allure to that, and that's just in life. It has nothing to do. It happens in the collecting world too, right? We all have, as humans, we find something that's so, you know, attractive that like we're like, we must have that. That's classy looking. That's very, you know, I get that feeling kind of right here from these images. I was like, wow, okay, this looks like really high end. It just looks great. It just looks great. So I'm not gonna get it, but the point is, it's you can still admire things, right, all the time. I'm not gonna buy a, you know, McLaren, you know, car for $1 million, but I can admire it, you know, like that's what I mean. Like there's certain, well, I mean, you know, can't afford it, but you know what I'm saying, like you can admire things, and I think this looks like a great piece. I'm excited to see what the movie's like. If the movie's like really good, then this is just gonna further elevate this piece.
That's true. not only this, and if HOTTOYS eventually does one, but Costa, I want to hear your take on this Black Adam statue. And the more I see, you see, uh, it's tough because there's so many really good options, and there's really no space, and
Yeah.
that's a problem big time. Sometimes you want to get into these things, but the space is not your best friend. But I want to hear your thoughts about this statue, Mr. Costa.
So there's a the nostalgia component, but for me, and I'm sure there's a bunch of collectors out there, there are actors that I would collect the actor in whatever, and The Rock is just one of those guys. And this is the first time I think in a very long time I've been excited about a DC movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing does it. They did a spectacular job on it. It comes like in like two different versions. It has a couple of head sculpts. That cloak that he wears, I'd probably have it sitting with that. I mean, I don't collect statues, but yeah, if you do collect statues, this actually came out really good. I know this is not the final product, right? They just announced this. Prototype, right? Yeah. So I mean, if they can replicate this, if you get it, it's going to be a home run. I mean, it's the fucking Rock.
You can definitely go wrong with this one, and the more I'm looking into these pictures, it's like, damn. Connor, what are your thoughts about this statue, man? This looks like a freaking Rock. Like, likeness is on point.
Yeah, so I think if you're a fan of Black Adam, even prior to seeing this film, this is kind of like a no-brainer for you because it's really badass, and two, it has so many different options for display. I'm in the same club to where I don't collect statues. And also Costa made a point that I was going to make. A lot of people collect for their favorite actors and not necessarily a favorite movie. Perfect example. I think that Neo is going to sell well as time progresses. I do think it's going to sell well because it's Keanu Reeves. And me personally, I think some people would rather have the movie version of Keanu Reeves as opposed to the video game figure that's been sitting for the longest time and hasn't really been moving in the pre-order numbers. So if Hot Toys drops one, regardless of whether you're a fan of the film, if it ends up being good or not for you, people are going to buy it because it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and we haven't had a Dwayne The Rock Johnson since G.I. Joe. So, and that movie, I mean, people still bought that figure, and that movie was not a fan favorite. But I think this one will be a better seller than what did Dwayne The Rock Johnson play? Roadblock. I think that was his character. I'm not big on G.I. Joe, but anyways, I think this one's going to sell really well just because it's a modern, updated Hot Toy, and there's a lot of hype behind the film. And I think if what you mentioned, if Superman shows up, that's going to just shoot the sales up even more because people are going to want him to go with Superman. So,
yeah, I heard some rumors. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it's not.
Yeah,
but
hopefully it is. That'd be
hopefully
awesome.
It is because I think they're good friends in real life. The Rock and Henry Cavill. So, I think if that happened, then it's probably be a good thing. And another thing that someone mentioned as well is that Blitzway had issues with Hescalps, right? Usually there's a downgrade from the prototype to the final product, and that's been very noticeable, especially with the Joker. That was the figure I really wanted to have, that statue I really wanted to have. And then when I saw that, the likeness was, I mean, doesn't look bad at all, but if you're going to spend $1,200, $1,300 for a statue, I mean, it has to be at least 96% from the prototype, no less than that. I think less than that is no good, right? Especially if you pay that much money into an item. So, that's why I kind of turned that off. But overall, I think this one looks very good. I really hope that the final product comes exactly as this, or 96%. But if not, it's gonna be, people usually don't like to pre-order this as much, I guess, because of what's going on with Blizzway and Paramount Studios with their statues. Maybe hope they learn the lesson, and next time they do things like this, they pay more attention to the final product, so people don't complain. So
Mm.
hopefully, we'll see that. And we're gonna wrap this up. I want to say thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you the panel for joining me. And guys, if you please didn't hit the like button yet, just do so. If you're still here watching, this will help us out a lot. And for members, if you guys were members of the channel and now you see that you got canceled, was because I rebranded, rechanged my membership. So now if you join, you're going to be a master collector and you have some perks. And with that comes the private Facebook group where we post stuff and we can chat if you want to talk. So if you want to rejoin or if you want to become a new member, please consider joining. Mr. Anthony, we're wrapping things up. What's going on your channel, my friend?
Well, thank you for inviting me as always, my friend. Yeah, I mean, well, live stream Saturday. I didn't do this Saturday night. I wasn't feeling too good. And it kind of worked out for the better anyway, I think, because everybody had already kind of talked about everything Comic-Con related throughout the week. So I was like, okay, but Saturday nights, my main streams, my morning shows here and there, if it's a, decent amount of news. And, yeah, man, that's about it. Close to 2,000 subs. So that's cool, man. We're getting there. And, I'll be doing some more videos here and there, just, about announcements or, releases, things like that. It's just, slow and steady right now, man. Been busy with work too, so it's been like, because this is not our full-time job, so sometimes we get busy.
No, we do. But before we go, and thank you, Dion, for bringing this up because I did put it. I was about to forget about this. So thank you for pointing that out. So again, take it with a grain of salt. So rumors has it that this is gonna be the next thing. So we might get Ahsoka very soon. Again, no sources. It was just a rumor that somebody told me. So let's hope it's true. Hope it's true. I honestly can't wait. Can you imagine?
Tonight. It better be tonight.
So I really hope. I really hope. I'm looking forward for this figure. First of all, it's a DX version from the Mandalorian, and as you guys know, I have so far 100% of the line. Well, actually 99% because I didn't get the Grogu accessory pack.
So me neither. I'm not getting it. I don't think I'm getting it.
I don't know. I'm thinking about probably. I don't know. Just to kind of like
expensive either. So I don't know.
It's not. So I'm gonna eventually. I'm gonna get it. Probably gonna wait until it's on sale. But figure wise, 100% so far. So yeah, that's what I heard about this one. I don't know. Again, this is a rumor. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. If it happens, perfect. If it doesn't, don't hate the player, hate the game. So yeah, I can wait. I'm looking forward for the Hescop on this one. Because when I saw the Hescop at the beginning, I was super like in love with it. But all of a sudden, like when time starts, passing by, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird. When I saw this the first time, I was like, "Oh my god, this looks amazing!" But then, after months, and then I went back and watched the picture. I'm like, I don't know. I hope it needs work. So hopefully they improve this. And Dion, thank you so much for reminding me. Sometimes my brain goes.
Well, and keep in mind, dude, unless you're going in it because you're going in it for like the Mando line or whatever, like. She may get another version in Mando, and if not, definitely her own show.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. There's always that. You don't want to get that syndrome. Sometimes people are like, "Damn, there's gonna be like 3 of her," or you know what I mean. But I'm still getting her too. Because again, Dante and I we're all in the Mando line, and she does look pretty good. So
yeah.
Also, I also heard. And I don't know, the Blurg and Quail should be next in line as well. But sometimes they say, they told me months ago, Cable is ready. They have the boxes in the warehouse ready to be released, and still now we're still waiting for it. Don't be surprised if you see Cable. My prediction was that we're gonna see in August. Finally, we're gonna see Loki, and finally we're gonna see Cable in August, and that's it. You know, they're gonna just call it no more endgame stuff. That's it. Let's move on with life. You know, but there's so many figures. Eventually, those have to be released. I mean, think about that. And time is passing really quick, man. We are already Q3, and Q4, Christmas season, holiday season. They better, you know, speed up a little bit because it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. So if you thought last year was bad in Q4, you
It
ain't seen
was.
nothing yet.
Remember?
You ain't
Yeah.
seen nothing
Yeah.
yet. I think this is gonna be worse than that because now restrictions are lifted. We're getting more stuff now, but at the same time, the
Yeah.
economy is crap. So it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. So, Mr. Costa, what's going on your channel?
I am in the middle of editing a tutorial on how to make, I guess you would call it an actual Magic case, but I made it in such a way that you can put them on your walls and they will stay. I promise you. You can go to the channel or the Instagram Pop Culture Living Room to see pictures of it. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend. It'll probably be this weekend, but I'm going to be on 1/6 Figure Focus's Visions live stream thing. So look for that over the weekend live stream. And if you want to make one of those, go check out my video on the channel. But yeah.
And make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all the good stuff. And Mr. Connor, pleasure to have you on the channel. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What's going on the hotline?
So, first thing, guys, every Thursday is when I do my stream with the boys, typically 7:30 to 8 Eastern. So if you're bored on Thursday nights, come out, check us out. We always have a fun time. Secondly, we are doing a giveaway of the Arkham series Harley Quinn figure for 250 subscribers. So if you haven't seen my channel before, check it out. And if you like what we do, consider subscribing and you will be entered to get that that hot toy in that giveaway. And finally, I did just upload a video a couple hours ago. Basically, the video is about pleather maintenance and how to apply pleather conditioner to your figures. I know a lot of newer collectors are curious about this, especially if you live in an area that has high humidity. It's definitely something you might want to consider doing. If you were curious about that and you're curious about what to buy and how to do it, definitely check out that video. I just uploaded it a couple hours ago, so it's the newest video on my channel. But that's all I got.
Oh, that's dope. And all the description, all the links in the description below. So make sure you check it out. And of course, I have to say hi to my boy, Collectibles, in the house, stopping by. You know, he just paid $30 million for his divorce, but he's getting there. He's getting there. So what's going on my channel? Okay, so finally, guys, I got my Endor, the Luke Skywalker, brand new. And dude,
There he is.
that was amazing.
Yeah, mine's
That
like
was
right here.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to doing my grub reviews. It's been a while since I've done one. I have a few that I wanted to do, but time has been a bitch. But I'm gonna record this review for the Luke Endor on hopefully by the weekend, so you should see it there. We're gonna have a show on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the Collector's Night. That's the name of the show, and we're gonna have the very first segment. I introduced it last week, but we didn't speak about it. I just want to give you some tease. We're gonna talk about the 80s stuff. So you may want to tune in because it's gonna be fun. You know, 80s is always fun. So I'm gonna put the panel together. So expect fun. Get your drinks ready. Maybe we're gonna have physical blues, maybe if it's available. But that's all we have. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, become a member of the channel if you haven't yet. Rejoin if you were canceled. And thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, be well. And see you around in the next video.